Hi, in this second tutorial, we're going to learn how to get the most from the IBRS AI, and we're going to explore some of the different types of questions that you can ask the service. Now, the first type of question that's very common is trying to make a decision. We find it actually is best not to ask the AI to make the decision for you because, quite frankly, it does not know enough to make a decision. But what it can do is look through the IBRS database and find the frameworks and the decision models that we have been working on for many, many years. So ask it to provide the framework for making a decision. And this is a classic one. How do you make the decision between Microsoft 365 E3 or E5 licensing? And if you turn on the AI, you would get a pretty good description on how to go about making that decision, which you and your team can now follow. And you can also see it's added additional information there, other things that you may not have thought of. But really importantly, it will surface the types of documents that you need to read, absolutely must read when making that decision. And it's got three key documents there for you. So, hint from this, when you are trying to make a decision, ask the AI how you make the decision. Don't ask the AI to make the decision for you. Now, the second type of query is one where it's really about how do you assess something in your organization. IBRS has written many, many maturity models and frameworks for how you go about improving your IT operations. And this is another classic inquiry that we often get. How do you assess your organization's ITSM maturity? And obviously the next question from that is how do I improve that maturity across the certain metrics? So let's ask the AI that question. And here's the results. And you can see here, it's going through, looking at the ITSM maturity model that we have. It's talking about capability assessments and all of those good things. But again, really important, here are the key documents that you'll want to read and follow up on. Clearly, the most important one in this case would be the ITSM maturity assessment webinar, where we've actually talked through how you do this. So it's also finding information that's not just in textual form. As always, please, if you want to go to the next level, click on the Make This an Inquiry button, and we will get the information that you need and get back to you. The next type of inquiry that you might want to do, the next type of question that you might want to do is what I call the thinking outside the box. Sometimes it's really useful to ask a very broad question and frame it with the type of output, the type of outcome you would want from it. And this is an inquiry that we had recently, which was how would AI impact businesses in India? And what do you need to tell the board? This type of question is really useful to discover the things that you might not have thought about. IBRS has written many, many thought leadership papers, and it's very easy to miss those. So sometimes just asking a broad question can surface information that's entirely new to you. And here's the response. You can see here it's actually given quite a detailed response, including some predictions out to 2035. And all of this information has come from these documents. In this case, it's found a document explicitly talking about AI in the Asia Pacific region. And if we open that up, you'd actually find that it has additional information about India specifically. It also has information I know because I helped write this on Australia and other things. But then it starts to look across these other papers that you might not be aware of, really understanding maybe where AI is going to head in the future. And again, if you would like a briefing or a presentation, you can always click the Make This an Inquiry button. Another really useful type of inquiry is one which I like to call the personal advisor type inquiry. Given the amount of churn in the industry, we've actually been getting this type of inquiry fairly often. You're a new CIO, what are the recommendations on what you need to do first to really cement your role? So in this type of inquiry, you're asking about what actions you will take personally. Now that could be on a particular project or it could be very broad like this one. If we start the AI, it'll start thinking to itself. and it's responded. And what I find quite amusing here is it's actually congratulated you on becoming a new CIO. And then it has gone through and found information from our staff who have all been CIOs and really consolidated that into 5 key points. But again, always the devil's in the detail. Go and look at these types of papers, in particular the CIO handbook, which I think is up to part 13 now, has a vast amount of really good information about what you can do next. You can drill into the information here. You can go and look at the full details in that paper. Just bring that up now. There you go. Look, the whole thing is laid out for you. Um, and of course, you can always click on this to make an inquiry. And one of our CIOs who's really been through that whole process many, many times will come to you and walk you through your career path, possibly, or even offering mentoring. So there's many ways to use this AI. It is not a search tool. If you just use it as a search engine, you're going to get very strange results. But if you use it to ask very specific questions on what sort of frameworks you might want to use, how to make a decision, not make the decision for you, but how do you make that decision? How do you move ahead next? Or tell me what I don't know. That sort of expansive question. It's really good at providing answers in those situations. Thank you so much for your patience of going through this tutorial with me, and I really hope you get a lot of value from the AI. Please let us know if you think there's areas that we can improve, because as we do know with AI, it's improving rapidly day by day. Thank you.